All right, today we are talking branding and self-promotions. Do you ever wonder why some people seem to be getting ahead while others seem to be falling behind? It very well may be because of their brand and promotions. All right, so here's the deal that a lot of freelancers have trouble wrapping their heads around is you have to put yourself out there. Even if you're introverted, even if you don't like the idea, even if you hate social media, you have to put yourself out there. It's an evil necessity. If it's something that you are not comfortable doing, outsource it. We have plenty of great social media people in our organization that I'm sure you could find somebody to help you with that component of it. But there's plenty of other people who can help out with other advertising, marketing items as well. Okay. Hi, I'm Julie Cortés, copywriter by day, freelance rockstar by night. I live, breathe, teach, speak, and coach on all things freelancing. As you heard me state before, I'm also the founder and president of the Freelance Exchange of Kansas City. My journey has been really weird. I'll be the first one to admit I got fired from my job 25 years ago. It was the best freaking thing that could have ever happened to me, looking back. All right, I was obviously not cut out for the corporate world, and today I am nowhere at all where I thought I would be, but I am 110% absolutely everywhere where I should be. I absolutely love where I am. I am a copywriter by trade. I write for ad agencies, design shops, large corporations, small businesses. I have run my own business for over 25 years. I know this is when you say, but Julie, you don't look a day over 25. I know. Thank you. However, it is true. So I've been doing the copywriting thing for 25 years. About 5 years into my career, I recognized that there was a void in education and community and even respect for the self-employed. So apparently, looking back, I've made it my life's personal mission to rectify that. In 2003, I started the Freelance Exchange of Kansas City. As many of you are very well aware, we offer things to fulfill that void, to give you continuing education, to give you community, and to hope to elevate the image of the term freelancer and gain some respect for those of us who are self-employed in the overall workforce. Fast forward, and I find myself with an opportunity to teach a freelancing course. I've been speaking at local colleges, and I was just giving a 1-hour presentation, and I thought to myself, you know what? This really needs to be taught in schools. Why don't you do something about it? You do something about everything else, apparently, so I did. So in 2017, I created a Freelancing 101 course, and I have been teaching as an adjunct professor at the Kansas City Art Institute ever since. Bless you. Teaching fine artists and commercial artists both how to run a successful business. But a funny thing happens when you are a professor teaching a local freelancing class. Apparently, everybody wants to come take your class. But I say take it like, you know, they just want to come and sit in on a class every once in a while. And I'm like, well, there's no room. That's part of the problem. But you also have to pay. You have to enroll. You have to go back to school. And how many people at this stage want to go back to school? Nobody. Kelly, oh, go. Okay, good. Come join my class. Anyways, very few. So long story short, I was like, hey, Cortés, light bulb moment. Why don't you open up a coaching arm to your business and offer these same lessons to your fellow peers and fellow freelancers? And so that's what I've been doing. The last few years, I've been running a coaching business specifically for freelancers on the creative side of things. I know there's a couple of you here in this room, a couple more in the other room who I've already coached or am coaching. Absolutely love it. I'm helping everybody else succeed and get there much sooner than I did. I will be the first to admit I made a lot of mistakes along the way, but I have learned from those mistakes and I'm here to share those with you so you don't make those same mistakes. All right. I also am a public speaker, speaking on stages near and far, local to international. So, and getting my bucket list checked off. I got to speak at How Design a couple of years ago. If anybody's familiar with How, I was so excited. Anyway, enough about me. Today, we are talking branding and promotions. We are going to cover social media. We're going to talk advertising and marketing. We are going to talk networking. We are going to talk PR. You ready? Ready? Let's go. Okay. So first up, your logo is not a brand. So often I ask people, what is What comes to mind when you think of a brand? And so many people are like instantly logo. Well, okay, yes, and what is your logo? Let me ask you, what is your logo? Or excuse me, what is your brand? Deers in the headlights. What is your brand? Your logo is not your brand. Your brand is how people feel about you when you're not in the room. Your brand is your image. Your brand is your reputation. Now, yes, there are a lot of components that make up your brand, all right? But your brand is how people feel about you, your work, your style, your company when you're not around. Think of it as your image, as your reputation. So you want to build a stellar reputation, a stellar brand. Now, how do you get there? Logo, duh. All right, what else? Where are my designers? What else goes into a brand? Holly. What's that? Tagline, yes, yes. What? Did you say points? Voice. Thank you. Tone of voice. Yes, yes. Perfect. All of these things help make up your brand. Can go into a brand style guide, as Amber pointed out earlier, and very important for everybody to have for their own companies, all right, if you don't have one already. So let's talk about how to get there, okay? It's not as easy as just sitting down and drawing a pretty picture, and here's my logo, I got a little stick figure, I'm ready, let's go. There's more to it, okay? As we mentioned, there's a bunch that can go into your brand, but really what you want to start off doing is not just looking internally, but externally as well. Look at your competition. Look at other people in the room, that's totally fine. Look at people on the Freelance Exchange website. What are they doing? What do you like? What do you not like? And then how can you differentiate yourself from them? This is a term in marketing we call USP, which stands for Unique Selling Proposition, or you may have heard it as Unique Selling Point. It's fancy marketing speak for what makes you different, what makes you better, your differentiator. It's your USP. You want to compare yourself to your competition, okay? Now, this is an exercise we can all do, whether you do it right now or you take it home and do it later. But basically, you need to figure out why clients should choose you over your competition, okay? Dig deep on this. This is not big picture. It has to be one thing and one thing only. Don't give me a whole paragraph or yourself a whole paragraph. One thing. And it has to be something that nobody else in your competitor universe, locally in the local market that you compete in, that they can also claim. Something only you can claim. Is it your style? Is it your way of doing things? Is it that you only work in a certain medium? What is your USP? I do this exercise a lot with my clients, and you'd be surprised. Well, maybe you wouldn't be surprised, but oh my gosh, it's so generic. We have the best customer service. No, okay. The toe shop down the street can say the same thing. What makes it that you have the best customer service? What is it? Oh, well, we have somebody answering the phones 24/7. Ooh, this is good. Can any of your competitors state that? No, that's it. Okay, so dig deep. It's got to be something that nobody else can claim. Now I'm going to test y'all real quick. Can anybody guess what my USP is? Kelly? Any guesses? You've known me the longest. My hashtag. That's my tagline. What is my USP?
Probably because you've gone through the process of creating structures with freelancing.
Mm-hmm.
You live, breathe, and sleep freelance.
So I do.
All your knowledge of freelance. So.
All my knowledge of freelance. That's actually pretty good. But I will say there are other people out there who also have a lot of knowledge of freelance. Other freelance coaches, it's a thing. Any other guesses?
Well,
No one else started the Freelance Exchange. I mean, this is true. I'll do a Holly move.
More like the framework of your class.
Think big picture, my entire brand. I don't just do freelance coaching and teaching and speaking. I'm also still a copywriter. Y'all are going to kick yourselves as soon as I tell you. Michelle. That's the beginning of my elevator speech. All right, I'm just going to tell you. My USP, my unique selling point is my personality. My fun personality. Everything you said, yes. I know I have a quirky personality, and I know to play it up when the situation allows. I know if I'm competing against my fiercest competitor, who's actually a really good friend of mine, I know to play up my USP in everything I do, okay? If we go to pitches together, like he goes in first and then I go in after him, I know he's very laid back, he's very methodical, and then here I come in, yay, let's have some fun, you know? So they know immediately they're gonna have fun with me. And I tell you, 9 times out of 10, I win the pitch, okay? Because I know that marketing trick. So I'm going to encourage you to go home, figure out what your USP is, and I want you to highlight it in absolutely everything you do. In your brand, in your marketing, in your promotions, in your pitches, in your hair. No, I'm kidding. In everything that you do, all right? Also study your target audience. Find out what appeals to them. If you can figure that out, that's always super helpful. And then, of course, share your brand everywhere. Everywhere. All right? Where are some places you can showcase your brand? Social media. Yes. Where else? Business cards? What? Did you say it at the same time? It's like in stereo. Awesome. Your website, of course. All of these things, right? Where else? Right? You could put it in your hair, but please don't copy me. But you could. I know people who have their glasses in their colors. They wear tennis shoes in their colors. Laptop case, right? You will see, for the love of all things purple, I have all things purple. All right? And that's by design. Where else? Amber, you got a branded cup, don't you? Yep. Think about all of the different places where you can showcase your brand. Now, I'll be the first to admit, I know this about myself, that I go above and beyond. And I brand everything. I've even put my logo on my thumbnails before, all right? My license plate is branded. My license plate frame is branded. You could get a decal put on your car. You could put a decal on your laptop. Keep thinking how you can showcase your brand. I'm not saying go out and do all of the things if that's not your personality, but kind of glean from these ideas and how you can incorporate your brand into your everyday life, okay? I know some people laugh because they're like, oh, Julie, you're always in purple and pink or blah, 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 whatever. Keep laughing, it's working, okay? It's working. So, all right, we're gonna keep going here and move on to promotions. So there are so many opportunities out there. This is just a handful of ideas or 2 handfuls of ideas. I think more often than not, as freelancers, when we talk about self-promotion, instantly, what's the one thing do you think comes to mind? Social media, because it's free and it's easy. Free and or inexpensive, because you can do the boosted posts, right? The sponsor posts, the ads, absolutely. But there's so much more you could be doing. And why not? Do you want to stand out amongst your competition? Go above and beyond. Do the other things as well. I am somebody who lives and breathes what I'm preaching, actually doing all of the things, okay? So if you follow me on social media, you probably know that I am doing all of the things up here. I don't just talk about it, okay? Because why? Because it works. One of the best tips I ever got when it came to self-promotions was to dedicate at least an hour a day to marketing. An hour a day to marketing. I know it sounds like a lot. You've got to carve out time. But I'll tell you what, it works. Okay? Proof is in the pudding. My books are I'm booked. My schedule is booked. Okay? It works. I'm not saying you have to do social media every single day. You could be updating your website. You could be sending out emails. You could be doing a speaking gig. Okay? So many different opportunities. We're going to jump into social media because, again, it's the number one thing that people talk about. I am not a social media expert by any stretch of the imagination, but those of you who follow me know I'm pretty active on there. Okay? So let's jump in here. Oh, what is social proof? Yes, good question. So social proof is the concept of other people's like testimonials and their reviews of you coming through to say that they give you their stamp of approval. So let's say you have a testimonial from Sally Joe on your website, and Kelly goes to your website. She's like, I know Sally Joe. I trust her opinion. I'm going to go ahead and use this person. Okay? Social proof. Testimonials, reviews, anything like that. Any recommendations? Sorry, Michelle, I went off camera. Okay, so let's jump into social media. There are a lot of platforms, and it seems like there's a brand new one every single day, right? How do you keep up? It's a lot. You don't have to be on every single profile or every single platform. The top ones are LinkedIn, of course, for business, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Don't forget YouTube. You know there's a handful of others. Again, you do not have to be on all of them. Pick a handful that not only you like, and that's easy for you to use, but also where your target audience is. Where they're hanging out. Super, super important, all right? Don't just have a profile, do something with it. I can't tell you how annoying it is to go to like somebody's Twitter page and they haven't been active since 2013. I'm like, why do you even still have this account? Do you know what that does to your brand image? Well, exactly. Exactly. I'd much rather you shut it down. Okay? It's not a set it and forget it kind of thing. You've got to be active on there. Now, the algorithms will state or say or prefer that you post on a regular basis. What does that mean? Could be daily. It could be daily. I'm not saying you have to post every single day. I know that's a lot for a lot of people, but the algorithm will prefer it if you do. What does that mean? That means they're going to boost your post up higher if you are active on the platform. But also not just posting, but sticking around, scrolling, looking at stories, commenting, liking, engaging, right? They really like that kind of stuff. But make sure that your brand is prominently displayed across the board. What do I mean by that? We're going to see if this Wi-Fi works and if I can get to this. All right. Let's go. Okay, LinkedIn Personal. Does that look branded? Yeah, pretty good. Look at that band. Look, take advantage of that cover photo, you all. Absolutely. Use it as an ad. Put in your colors, put in your logo, some sort of call to action, if you will. Okay. One thing you want to be sure of is your URL. Make sure that's branded. You can customize your URL. Make sure that handle matches whatever else you're using on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, what have you. Keep your brand consistent across the board, if you can. I recently changed from Casey Copy Diva to Freelance Rockstar, and Freelance Rockstar is one character too long on Twitter. Damn it, Elon. So, yes. So that's just kind of staying there for now, and I'm not doing anything with it because Twitter's not my favorite right now. Okay, so that's LinkedIn Personal. I can't see. Let's go to LinkedIn Business. Now, I highly recommend you have a business page, even if you don't use it. The key reason being is if you put your logo right here as your avatar, guess what's going to pull up here and down below in your experience? Your logo is actually going to come up if you have a company page. That is the workaround there. Okay, that's your business page. Notice how there's a consistent theme, colors, right? My bio is pretty much the same on every platform. Now, again, the character counts are going to be different platform to platform, so be careful with that, but at least try and say something similar across the board. Okay, that's LinkedIn. Go to, anybody have a Facebook business page? Couple of people. I know you do. Raise your hand. You lost it. Oh, that sucks. That really, yeah. One thing to remember, I know a lot of the younger generation doesn't really believe in Facebook because they think it's for the older people, but the older people are the ones who have the money and who are in the hiring positions. So if that's where your target audience hangs out, that's where you want to be. At least have some sort of presence there. Okay? So that's Facebook business. I like Facebook business because I don't like using my own personal account for business. Now, sure, I'll share stuff to personal, but I don't want to inundate my personal friends and family with my business stuff. Okay? One trick I have found is if you've got a post that you want to appear in your personal feed without sharing it, is it's got your picture in it, just tag yourself. Tag your personal profile and you'll show up and you'll get double the audience. Okay, that's Facebook. Let's go to Twitter. Oh, what just happened? There we go. Okay. See a theme? They all look alike. This is what you want to strive for. You want consistency across the board. Let me jump over to YouTube. Same thing there. What is happening? Same thing there. Okay, now, Instagram does not allow you to have a cover photo. Okay, but look, I still have my colors. I branded my highlights, my highlight covers. Why not? Get your colors in there somehow by having those highlight covers. Does everybody know what highlight covers or highlights are? Anybody not know? I see a couple of faces. So basically, when you share stuff to your stories on Instagram, if you want to save them, because otherwise they're gone within 24 hours, if you want to save them, you can. And you can just set up, different little saved reels down here, and they save them forever. It's pretty awesome. Okay, and you can brand the cover that goes on top of each one. You might as well. Now, I'm a speaker and a coach, so some of this is going to look a little different for me than it will for you. I show my face a lot, and that's on purpose because that's a speaker and a coach kind of thing, kind of like real estate agents. You see their faces a lot, same kind of concept. But as a freelancer, I'll tell you, I see a lot of artists in particular who just post their work. And that's all it is, work, 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 work. That's great. Maybe I love your work, but what happens if I see you at a networking event and I don't know it's you? I have no idea who you are because you've never shown your face. The other thing about showing your face is that it will help invoke trust. They want to feel like they know you before they come work with you. So show your face every once in a while. I really like to brand a lot of my posts. Think about not just showing work, but sharing a lot of other things. Sharing quotes, sharing tips, sharing that you were at this boot camp, whatever the case may be. Not everything has to be salesy or a sales pitch, right? There's a fine line there. I will say with every caption, be sure to have some sort of call to action at the end, every single one. Again, doesn't have to be salesy. Comment below, tell me what you think, right? Go to the link in my bio to read more. Set up a free consultation, whatever you want it to be, okay? A lot of opportunities there. Any questions on social media? Thoughts? Why are you laughing at me? Okay.
When you have both personal and business,
Uh-huh.
What are you typically commenting and liking?
So if I share personal and business with one account, such as Instagram, maybe? Mm-hmm. And then what's the question? What do I?
So like if you have both on LinkedIn or both on Facebook, which one are you using to comment and like and stuff with it? Your business or your personal?
It depends. What's my angle, right? Sometimes it just depends on which one I'm logged into at the time that I see it, but if I want to be intentional with it, like I see my clients and I know that there's going to be other potential clients who are going to see that, then I'll stick with my business. But otherwise I'll flip it. It just kind of depends. Yeah, that's a good question for sure. Any other questions? Let's see if I can flip back to the slideshow. Maybe. This is hard when you can't see. And how about now? I did it. Okay, so let's keep going. So advertising and marketing. What kind of things could you do that fall underneath the umbrella of traditional advertising and marketing? Audience participation. It's not just about me. Email marketing. Yeah. I will tell you, email is king, and a lot of people don't take, or queen, whatever you want to go with that. And people don't take advantage of it. The conversion rate, I don't remember the exact statistics, but they are so much higher than social media. Conversion, converting interested parties to actual paid clients. Okay? Yeah, email marketing. What else? Networking. What else? Oh, print, flyers. You could do print ads in magazines or newspapers. Direct mail, right? You could do postcards or letters, old school snail mail. Again, people are excited to see stuff that's not a bill. Very good. Depending on what it is that you do, you could do videos. Video is huge right now. We all know that. It doesn't even have to be of you. It could be of your process, right? A day in the life, right? Whatever the case may be, your vantage point. So your face wouldn't even be on camera. Absolutely. You could exhibit in trade shows. Pro tip, Freelance Exchange Portfolio Showcase coming up this fall. Okay? Absolutely. So many different things that you can do. Think beyond the social media box. All right? Okay. Public relations. What do you mean by public relations? What kind of things would fall underneath PR? Being a guest on a podcast, 100%. What else? What? Awards, yes.
Being featured in like the business journal.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, let's say you win an award. Let's say you get this feature. Now what do you do with that information? Share it. Put it out to the masses. You could type up a press release and send it to the media and have them post about it, especially if you win an award, right? Absolutely, you could do that. The awards, what was the other thing? Getting featured. Yes, very good. One of those things too, or the podcast interviews, you can also promote these things before, during, and after the event. It's not just a one-time opportunity to promote it. Think, I'm going to be on this podcast, post number 1. Here's a selfie of me getting ready to do the podcast. It's post number 2, right? And then number 3 is, here's the podcast. Go listen. Here's my interview. 3 opportunities right there. If anybody's wondering, I don't know what to do to promote myself, there's a really good example right there, okay? 3 different opportunities. You could write articles on LinkedIn. You could write articles for magazines or other publications. You could write your own blog posts. You could be a guest blogger. I actually just got the opportunity to be a guest blogger for Freelancers Union out of New York City, if anybody's familiar with them. Great big advocacy group, very awesome. You could also volunteer. You could serve on boards and rub elbows with movers and shakers. I mentioned before that maybe in our small groups, I mentioned that I built my business on networking and also volunteering. Kelly's known me for most of my career, and I've volunteered every single year in some way, some form, some capacity, and it has paid off. People know who I am. Somebody thinks I need a copywriter, I need a freelance authority. I don't want to call myself an expert. They know who I am. They know what I do. The more people who know you and like you and trust you, the more they're going to refer you and the more they're going to hire you. Hopefully. Right? Hopefully. Okay? Okay. Next, networking. Everybody's favorite. Where's my friend in the green? Everybody's favorite. Okay? Again, one of those evil necessities, whether we like it or not, it is an easy way to be found, right? You want people to know who you are. This is a great opportunity in order to meet those people. Networking is the exchange of like-minded thoughts, ideas with like-minded people, okay? Think of it as, if networking intimidates you, don't think of it as a work thing. Think of it as a personal thing, okay? I know as an extrovert, I am like, this is not a work thing. I'm going to a party. That's basically how it goes in my head. Okay? I don't think of it as I have to. To me, it's an I get to. I get to meet new people, new friends, new potential contacts, new clients, new referral partners, what have you. Flip the narrative in your head if that helps. Okay? Where can you network? Let's throw out some ideas here. Where are some good opportunities, good places, events to network? Professional organizations such as? The Freelance Exchange. What else? Ad Club. Good. What? Yeah. Media Mix, AIGA. Where else? I can't hear. Social Media Club. Yep.
Digital Women PC or Innovate Her or any chamber ever.
Yeah, ever. Yeah. Yes, online networking too. If you are, yep. If you're a better keyboard warrior, yes. Co-working spaces, good. Lots of opportunities out there. If networking is not comfortable for you, take a friend. Take somebody in the industry to go with you. It makes it a lot more comfortable, okay, and a lot less intimidating. Now, I'm going to get really cheesy on you for a minute, okay, and I'm going to ask you, if I were to say you're going to take a networking toolkit with you, what are you going to put in it?
Business cards.
Yeah, number 1, business cards. What else? Elevator pitch. A pin. Ooh, I like that. A pin. What else? Question. What's that?
Questions that you could have.
Questions to ask. Yeah. 100% a positive attitude. You ever go to some of these meetings, you find somebody in the corner and they're like, they're like, I don't want to be here, and they got, what is that, RBF, whatever, on their face. Like, really, does that look like somebody you want to approach? No. So think about that. Think about your eye contact as well. Think about your smile. Even if you've had a really crappy day, just put on a smile for the hour or so that you're there. Think about your handshake. I can't tell you how many times I have shaken hands with somebody and either it was way too tight, like I was like gonna squeeze my hand off, or it was just like wah wah. Okay? Think about your handshake. You want a firm handshake, but not too firm, but basically something that shows that you mean business. All right? You like that? Yeah, for sure. One other thing, and you all will thank me for this later. Put in your toolkit either breath mints or gum. Think about the networking opportunities that we get. You go to a coffee meetup. Has anybody ever had horrible coffee breath? You don't want to be stuck like hiding behind your napkin going, oh, hi, I'm Julie. Okay? Or you go to a happy hour and they have appetizers. Oh, and there's some yummy garlic or onions or whatever, inside the quiche or whatever it is, right? Be prepared. Take some breath mints. Take some gum. You'll thank me for it later. Yes, absolutely, you want business cards. Challenge yourself when you go to each event. Do you want... if you are an extrovert, I would say go in with a goal of collecting 5 business cards from quality contacts. Okay? It's not just about quantity, it's about quality. If you are an introvert, don't push yourself. 2 or 3 is okay. It's okay. You have 5? Oh, mazel tov. That's awesome. Okay, good. So, make a goal ahead of time. If you can see the guest list ahead of time, that's great. Maybe you can see that you'll know other people there. Maybe there's somebody you've been dying to talk to and you've never met them before. Maybe do a little research on them in advance. So let's say you get your 3 or 5 business cards and you come home. Now what do? Do they pile up on a pile on your desk? Yes?
Well, the first thing you do is write on the back of them where you met this person. Nice. And then if you remember something about them.
Yeah. Or what you talked about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the date.
Yes,
right?
the date.
And then whenever I go to email this person, I can be like, hey, great to meet you at Freelance Exchange boot camp. Loved our conversation about your dog or whatever.
Yes. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. What else can you do? What else? Connect on LinkedIn. That should be your number one most natural thing to do after you write down your notes. But when you go to follow up, connect on LinkedIn. That makes sense. That's the professional networking site. You could also send in your, when you send your connection request, you can add a note. If you do it by desktop, you can't do it by mobile. Ask me how I know, okay? But when you send that connection request, write down, say where you met them, remind them. If you said that you would follow up with something, go ahead and follow up. Give them the information that you said that you would send along. If they have any other public-facing professional business pages, such as Facebook Business, Twitter, Instagram, what have you, you can follow them there as well. Now, something I'm a huge proponent of is relationship marketing. You want to nurture the relationship with these people whom you just met. If you think that there's a possibility that they could become a future client or even referral partner, okay? How do you nurture that relationship? Sure, you connect on LinkedIn. You cannot automatically add them to your email list. You have to get their permission before you do that, okay? So you want to start nurturing the relationship. Could you invite them for coffee? Sure, buy the cup of coffee, okay? Be generous there. But start with that relationship marketing. Again, people want to work with those whom they know, like, and trust, and you want to become that person. So you're going to be doing this all through your branding and through your promotions. Okay, let's talk real quick about some icebreakers or conversation starters. What do you say when you go up and meet somebody? Anybody? Audience participation.
Tell me something that you're excited about in your business.
Ooh, I like that. Tell me something you're excited about.
Start with how are you?
How are you? Easy enough, yeah. Anything else? Yeah, absolutely. What inspired you to come here today, right? Are you a member of this organization? Absolutely. Coming up with a list of questions ahead of time is a great idea to have those in your networking toolkit. Thank you, Rachel. Excellent idea. But it doesn't all have to be business related. It could be like, man, the weather's been really rainy lately, you know, whatever. I will say, try and steer away from controversial topics. You'd be surprised. People want to talk politics, sex, religion, and you're like, meh, nope. Wrong place, wrong time. Let's not do that here. Okay? So don't be the person to do that. Stay away from those. Things that are pretty generic that are safe, weather, sometimes movies, right? I think that's all, even current events, as long as they're not controversial. I think you're okay there. But then try and steer it more towards business, okay? Now, somebody mentioned elevator pitch before, or you could say elevator speech, whatever you want to call it. Let's talk about that for a minute, okay? So this is your homework for today, is to craft your own elevator speech. Basically what this is a 30 to 60 second spiel, if you will, telling everybody who you are, what you do, and how you can benefit them. And there are certain things that you want to put in here. Now, I know some people will say, there's an I help statement. Has anybody ever heard this? Okay, I help so-and-so, my target audience, do such and such, whatever your niche is, by this. Okay, that's great. That's only about 10 seconds long. You want something that you can expand upon to go 30 to 60 seconds. That's typical size of an elevator speech. We're talking 150 to 250 words, okay? And there are different things that you want to add in here. For example, number one, you want an attention-grabbing hook. It's not just, hi, I'm Holly, I'm a graphic designer. Tell me something interesting. Tell me a fascinating statistic, you know, whether it's about you or the industry or what have you, okay? An attention-grabbing hook. Next, of course, your name, what you do, your title, maybe your company name, get into those specifics. You definitely want to be specific on who your target audience is. I help women co-founders do this, okay? Whoever your target audience is, you want to narrow that down and share who that is in your elevator speech. Then, of course, drop in that USP that we shared before, Okay, what's your differentiator? Make sure you highlight that in your elevator pitch. And then at the end, of course, have some sort of call to action. Now, most likely it's going to be something like, hey, can we exchange business cards or something? Or if you're the first one to give your elevator speech and now it's their turn, then of course the natural thing is like, okay, enough about me. How about you? Tell me about you. Okay? You want to be able to have this memorized enough, not to the point where you know it word for word, but you know it well enough that you can improvise and make sure that you can cater it to the situation and the time that you have. Do you have 10 seconds? Do you have 30 seconds? Do you have 60 seconds? You have this opportunity to cater. All right? Who are you talking to? Do they seem interested or not? Okay? Use that to your advantage. Now, some people like to memorize this. I don't recommend it. Just practice it aloud a lot. Read it aloud a lot. If you're the type of person who wants to practice in a mirror, go right ahead. I personally think that's a little weird, but if you can do it, that's great. Absolutely. Does anybody have an elevator speech already? Kelly, do you want to share yours? No. What's your I help statement?
I create elevated imagery for businesses and creatives so they can share their story with their audiences.
Good. Okay, now expand on that. Okay, 30 to 60 seconds is what you want. Okay, that's your homework for today. Questions on that? Yes.
But I want to know, can you talk a little bit about finding your target audience and how to make sure, or have you had any experiences where like your unique selling position maybe didn't jive with who you're trying to reach, and how you kind of figured that portion out?
Sure, let's talk about that first. I am not for everybody and everybody is not for me, and that's okay. That's totally okay. There are some times where I find myself, if I'm meeting with a more conservative client, I have my Be Badass sign behind me and I just kind of lower it down, right? So it's not on the Zoom camera, right? It's not in screen. But everything else I can't hide. I am who I am, and if they're okay with it, great. And if they're going to judge me for having color in my hair, then they're not my kind of person anyway, right? I think you just have to get over that. There is going to be rejection, and that's okay. You're going to go and find the people who do want to work with you, right? And there's plenty of it out there. You just have to find it, okay? Not hustling, but you just have to find it. You have to be smart about it. And then the other question was finding your target audience. Okay, so there are a couple of different ways you can go about this, and it kind of depends on, do you have an idea in mind on who you want to target? Or sometimes it just naturally comes to you. Like for a while there, I was doing a ton of writing for real estate, architecture, and development companies. I don't know. There was just a lot of it going on in Kansas City, and I was the go-to person when Kansas City downtown was being revitalized. Like they all came to me. Great, I did not pick them, but then I knew now I got to start targeting them because now I have the experience and I can do that and get more work. Otherwise, do you have an idea in mind of who you want to target?
Well, I think the thing for me, what I have been struggling with is I really never wanted to work with, like in kind of the corporate world. That's where I came from. So I was trying to get away from that. So I went after a lot of different types of businesses and ended up working with corporate and kind of doing that, which is, it's nice because, they have the money.
Yeah.
And they have a need. But I don't know that it's necessarily work that I want to do, and I don't know that it's the work that I am best suited for. And,
Sure.
I just don't think that environment is really where I belong.
Right. Would you prefer working with small businesses or ad agencies or?
I think small businesses. I
Okay.
would like to work with companies that are more willing to take risks.
Like what?
More willing to take risks.
Oh, yeah.
Not so conservative all
Yeah.
the time.
Absolutely. Okay, so what I would recommend to you is to create an avatar of a contact person on the inside of a company like that. Okay, who are they? What do they do? What do they look like? What's their title? What's their role? Okay, obviously it's going to be somebody in a hiring position. So a creative director or a marketing manager. If it's a small business, it may even be the president or the owner, the founder, right? Let's create an avatar for this person. Do you feel like they're well educated? Do they have a college degree? Do they not? Or are they super well educated, master's, doctorate, what have you? How much money do you think they make? You want to start getting a picture in your head. Do they live in Kansas City proper? Do they live in a suburb? Are they married? Do they have kids? Do they have pets? What do they do for fun on the weekends? You're diving into demographics and psychographics, trying to figure out who these people are and how to best target them. Okay, the psychographics come into play. Those are more like their hobbies and their interests, things that will shape their mindset and motivate them to buy from you. Okay, so for example, I hate to say it, but politics can play a role in that these days, right? You know, and so you may definitely have an idea in mind which side of that political party line of people who you want to work with. That's who you want to target, right? If you can learn that information about somebody, maybe you just go to their Instagram page and they are very vocal. Then you know whether, yes, I love this person or I do not want to work with them at all, right? Okay, but start thinking about those different things between the demographics and the psychographics. I think that whole exercise of creating an avatar to figure out your target audience is super helpful. How are we on time? 5 minutes? Yes, okay, I'll wrap it up. Yes, ma'am. Okay, all right, what's next? Okay, I know, especially if you are just getting started as a freelancer, it is super hard to set aside money to pay for branding and self-promotions. I will also say that you have to spend money to make money. It is a hard lesson to learn. If you are not a designer, if you are not an illustrator by trade, please, for the love of all things purple, do not do your own brand. Do not do your own design work. Preach. I hear you. Please, please. Yeah, absolutely. I have a designer who has made templates for me, and I don't go off the templates, but I am able to see my slides. They're very easy. I just adjust the words, and even then, I still get it wrong sometimes. But they're still branded, and they're still designed nice, right? And I feel like it really helps elevate that image and gives you that brand recognition across the board. So I think that's super helpful. So budget for your branding, budget for promotions. If you have the opportunity to trade out with somebody, do it. My logo, my first website, all done in trade. There are some excellent people in the Freelance Exchange. I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine. I'll write your website if you design mine. Why not? Take advantage of this community, this beautiful little community that we have here, and help one another out, okay? But otherwise, you've got to figure out a way to pay for this kind of stuff. What does that mean? Do you take a part-time job? You can. Do you stop spending money at Starbucks or wherever your favorite coffee shop is? You can. Holly's like, no, yeah, I can't. But think about all the money you would save, and you could dedicate it to other things. Just do what you have to do, whether you save a third of every paycheck, not only for taxes, not only for a rainy day, but now you're also saving for the things that you want to do. Remember, you have to spend money to make money. If branding and promotions is not in your wheelhouse, if design and illustration is not in your wheelhouse, find somebody who it is and invest in yourself. Your brand, your promotions can really make or break your business. Okay? It's very important that you do it right. So, if you're not familiar, you can find talent in the Freelance Exchange of Kansas City, all right? You can go to our website at fxofkc.com and you can easily find whatever it is you're seeking. If you need a photographer, if you need an illustrator, a designer, a web developer, Holly, thank you. You can find it easily and for free through the Freelance Exchange of Kansas City. All right. Last but not least, I want to encourage you, if you would like any reminders of what we talked about today, you can scan the QR code on the screen or simply go to my website, juliecortez.com/signup, and get this free download that I have for you, 7 tips to rock your freelance business. Okay, lots of great reminders in here. I also send out tips on the regular, all for free. Everybody got it? All right, cool. So, I'm going to leave you with 3 things. Number 1 is to, of course, be bold. You have got to put yourself out there. You have to create a stellar brand and have good promotions. Again, if you are not comfortable putting yourself out there, find somebody who is to do it for you. Okay, number 2, is to be brave. Do not just rely on social media. Get out of your comfort zone and try some of these other solutions that we talked about today. You all know number 3, right? Come on. Be badass. Go on, level up, elevate your brand, and go and rock your freelance business. Thank you so much for having me today. Really appreciate it. If there's anything I can do to help you on your journey, please let me know.